Hi guys, it's Lockdown3 here. Today I will be showing you top 3 ADCs for Bronze to Gold. With these 3 ADCs you will be learning the role, laning, positioning and trading. These are safe picks that makes you learn easier how the role works. Why Caitlyn? Because she's the best ADC to learn the role with. She has poke, high damage later on, CC, escapes and really long range, what makes her safest ADC possible to learn to play with. Also, she has probably the highest damage output of all ADCs on the late game, at least it's easiest to execute with extremely long range and with itemization. It works from Bronze to Challenger to ULCS. And is always a top tier choice. Caitlyn's job on the Rift is zoning, taking objectives, and zoning people with his traps, and later on dealing crazy amount of damage. You can zone the enemies from turret with your traps. Always max W second before 1090 caliber net because it doesn't really benefit you too much. Place the traps on choke points, stay behind your team and attack whoever you can, and try not to attack the backline and die. Even if you have long range, it's not extremely long. In fights as a Caitlyn, you should always be focusing on the traps and auto-attacking. Don't use your Q. The channeling of the Q takes too much time and you will be dealing more damage with your autos. When you're kiting and if there's an assassin, you should be placing the traps around you wherever he can come from. If it's a Talon, it will be really hard, but if it's someone else, maybe a Kha'Zix, place traps around you, and when he gets on the trap, use your auto, E and auto, and you should be just fine. Caitlyn is for sure my favorite ADC out of them all, but let's get on the next champion with also long range. Even longer than Caitlyn's later on. This champion is called Tristana. Abilities make her great, and also the passive that gives you extra range every level you get, and you will be actually having longer range than Caitlyn on the late game. Her Q is a net speed boost, which is great with his explosive E ability. Her W is a gap closer that can you can either chase or gain distance with. Tristana's E is great, it deals AoE damage on the minions when it explodes. You can also throw her E on the tower and it will be dealing a lot of damage on the tower and also to minions or enemies around it. And Tristana has probably one of the best ultimates in the whole game. Since assassins are meta almost always, you can ult enemies back and deny them from their assassination attempts on you. Also, the ultimate deals actually a decent damage, but be careful when you use it for the execution, because it also can save the enemies. And whenever you get a kill, your W will be resetting and you can keep on jumping on enemies and or kiting. That's probably why the Tristana is always so good. Before you start using your W aggressive, please play a couple of games and learn her damage, learn how she works. And after you know all that, you can start using the W aggressive, because even on the diamond I keep seeing Tristanas who keep on jumping forward and then just dying. So please learn her damage before that. ADC is Miss Fortune. What makes her such a great ADC is her kit. She has huge AoE slow with his E, good poke with Q and with the passive movement speed buff and the movement speed reset on W, and of course your ultimate. The ultimate can basically win the games by itself. On the laning phase, try to kill minions with low HP with your Q, so it hits the enemy later. The minion has to die, it will be dealing more damage by doing that. Her passive love tap and the Q double up works together, dealing almost like... In the best cases, you can deal 50% of the enemy's ADC cell HP, but it's only if the minion dies. Second, you should be maxing your E, or even first, on some matchups that you will be learning when you just keep on playing on the Miss Fortune. You mainly use your E for the slow, so your team can CC the target. Since you are an ADC who doesn't have hard CC, so you're extremely vulnerable to assassins. So your team must have some hard CC, and if they don't, just don't play Miss Fortune. Yeah. After your teammates have done their job CCing the enemies, just press R and win the game. Positioning is the most important thing on Miss Fortune, as you don't have any hard CC. You can try to stay behind a corner, try to stay in the fog of war, and then generally your ultimate. The longer it hits, the more certainly you will win the game.